Yeah, I will start the recording so that you can have some idea. Let me maximize and just wanted to show you this code. Suppose that this is my Excel file. You can see here. This is my Excel file in which I have written some data in a string, in number, in date format, and you can say again in date format. Somehow let me go for formula as well. Say that I am writing some formula. In Excel, generally we are writing the formula like that. See, you can see here formula is also written. So I have covered maximum examples and say that I have tried to cover by some date divided by 0. So some error is also there. You can take multiple kind of examples over here. Fine. And let me put some one more equal to rand. Fine. You can see in Excel, like this is the actual data you can see over here. Let me show you. This is the actual data in each of the columns you can see over here. This is a string, this is a string, this is like formula, this is date, and but actual value of date is a string type over here you can see here. And this is also divided by 0 error, and this is again formula. So I have tried to put multiple values in the Excel, and I'll try to read that value. Fine. So how you are going to achieve that? For that, I have created one file input string class in which I will be using file class, and you will be passing the file path, that where you are going to use the data. See, this is like XLS files. This is like XLSX file. It means the latest version of file. So for that I have imported, you can see, XSSF, Apache POI XSSF. Fine. So for latest version of Excel, you need to import XSSF. If you are using previous version of Excel, then you have to use HSSF. Fine. So this is the basic difference, and workbook is interface which has been implemented by HSSF and XSSF class. So this is concept. You can more explore in that, and this tool is being developed by Apache POI. That's why it is called Apache POI. And basic code of Apache POI is being developed in Java. So backend it's covering the code as Java. So you are easily using it. So you have to download the Apache POI jar files, and once you will be downloading and adding into your project, so you will be able to read and write Excel file. So this is the first line of code in which file class is there and file input string class is there. So via that I am creating one reference, and this reference I am using for future. Here this is suppress wording. This is sometimes wordings are coming. So I am writing this line of code for suppress wording. So this is a kind of annotation. Fine. And I have created XSSF workbook. So I am taking here instance as workbook. It's pretty simple as Java. You can see how you are creating a Java reference variable, and you are creating one object and which you are passing this. You are passing this reference you are passing. It means now this line of code, after the execution of this line of code, it is saying that, oh, I am able to read that Excel file from this location. Fine. And here I am passing the index. So I am passing the index, and via this reference I am passing the index. Fine. And this is going me to give the name. Fine. Just I have created for reference purpose. This is the name I have created, and I am using this index, and I am like getting this into seat. So this is my seat. Via this reference I will be getting the seat name. Fine. And what I did, I have used iterator for row and column. So via iterator,
Rajiv,
yes,
get sheet at and this 4, what it does?
basically you
The
are
argument.
passing the index. Suppose that this is my seat
Hmm.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which seat you want to interact with? So that's why I am
Okay.
passing here index number 4. Fine.
So fifth sheet. It starts
So
from 0.
So that's why like let me remove this so that you can have one some more idea.
Right.
This is like a reference which seat I want to, and I want to store it somewhere. So it's showing me error. I'm creating a local variable, so it's automatically taking XSSF seat. Now you will ask what is XSSF seat? So similarly like workbook, we have a XSSF seat class. This is the class you can see here. A pop-up has been like
Right.
appeared, and you can see this is a class. C, it means it is a class. So you have created one
Right.
seat type reference variable. This is the seat type reference variable. Why I have created like that? You can see here I'm using iterator for row type, because I don't know how many rows and columns are there in the database. Fine. It's totally dynamic. So I'm going to get the dynamic rows, dynamic columns. I'm not aware about that, how many rows would be there, how many columns would be there. Just I have programmed it some way that it will be able to fetch the dynamic rows and dynamic columns into from your data, like Excel sheet. Fine. So that's why
Right.
I'm creating here iterator. Iterator is basically a Java interface which is used to iterate in like seat type variable or list type variable. So it basically gives you the IDs. So if I'm passing a row, it means it will give me the rows ID. Each and every time I will be getting the rows ID, and I will iterate it via row. So this is the basic code I am using here. This variable dot iterator, and it will give you iterator type, and I have created reference say that iterator. You can change it to as per your requirement, but others are fixed. Fine. Let me update so that you don't have any confusion. Just I am using here iter. Fine, you must be aware about that. Left side is like a reference and right side is actual object. So I am using here first seat dot iterator, and it is like being stored in iter. So iter you have to define it like which type of variable it is. So I am like passing here. It is carrying the iterator for row. Fine. So this is the keyword ROW via which you are using it. You can see this is iterator. Now here come here. So via this variable, it has some methods. So APIs is there, has name. It means you are passing it into while. It means it will iterate till it is finding the number of rows to be present. So for each and every time it will be true, and when the rows will be finished, it will automatically give you false. So that time it will not run. Fine. So basically it is for row. Each and every time one by one it will iterate one row. Fine. And in row, this is the this is for true or false condition, and it will give you the next ID. So via dot next you will get the ID of that row, because in array you need ID to traverse, right? So basically it is giving you the ID via which you are going to the next row. Fine. So this line of code and this line of code is very important to be understand, because iterator has some methods. Let me explain you more so that you can get some idea. Just put dot and keep like see here you are getting like remove, has next, next. basically for iterator we are mainly using has, next and next. So has next basically returns true or false condition. So if it is like element is present, then it will return you true or false. See, this is like boolean, so it will only return true or false, and it will next will return the id, which id you are going to traverse. Fine. So it will traverse via these two methods. We can traverse via each and every row. Fine. So these are very important things. As next boolean, and next is basically the id of each and every row. Fine. Let me remove this so that, so it will be like a true till your number of rows are present, and it will give you the IDs of each row, because you need IDs to traverse. Fine. For rows. Now I'm going to get the IDs for column. So how I'm going to get it? See, for column we have cell keyword. For row we have row keyword. For column we have cell keyword. Fine. So in each row, suppose that in each row there will be number of columns. Fine. So how you are going to get that? So you are having like cell. Fine. So this is the cell keyword via which you are going to get the number of columns. So again I am taking here this row and dot cell iterator. So this is also like iterator for columns. Fine. You can see here this is cell iterator, this is for column, and it will iterate one by one to your column. It one by one it will iterate. First it will come to any row, then after that one by one it will iterate to your column. Why I'm taking like that? You have to like, I want to show you how you can like program it dynamically. Otherwise static is also achievable via array. In previous programs it's already been shown to you, right? Now I am using this reference variable dot next. Similarly like for row, it will be returning true or false till my column data is present, and via this variable and dot next we will be getting the IDs for each and every column. So that is stored in cell type variable. Fine, because this is like cell, so that is why it is being stored in cell type variable. I know it's bit complex to understand, but for dynamic programming it's very important. So this is for row and this is for column, you can see over here. Similarly, it's for row, next row, and for similarly I am writing here, it's a cell. Column it means cell. Fine, you don't need to confuse. For column it's like keyword is cell. So we are getting here, each and every time we are getting a cell. So this will traverse for row and this will traverse for column. And what I did, I have used like cell type, and you don't need to confuse here. You can see here I want to show you something. Here it is one, so formula option given there. View. Let me change the mode so that you can have a look. So this is the actual output you are going to get. Fine. Don't look at this output. Suppose that you are going to get in this format. So don't look at this output. Fine. You are going to get the result in this format. This is like a string, this is like number, this is like a formula, this is like date type. So this is date type, but the output will be coming in this format. And this is like formula, you can see formula, and this is again formula. So whatever the value will be matching, it will be coming in this format. But this is some kind of error, and let me design my program in such way that it will be useful for all such types of cell. So each and every time it will be coming here in siege, and I am using here cell dot get cell type. So there is one method here, it will like give you the type of cell. Fine. And basically let me put dot. So basically it is returning you integer. You can see here get cell type integer. Fine. So basically on integer value it will be matched. What I will do, let me show you something. First I will not go through this. Let me comment it out. What I will do, I will use cshow and I will use this. Basically it will print the type of cells. And let me execute this. I have used println here and I have to use print here. Because if I will use println, it will directly go to next line. Let me execute. Go to the output window. You can see the cell type. It is matching like that. For string it is like coming as 1. For integer it is coming like 0. For date type it is date or formula. Right? So formula type it is taking as 2. For date type it is matching with 0. You can see here because already I shown you the actual output was coming in numeric. So for numeric and numeric it is matching like that, and for again for it is formula. So formula it is coming like 2, again its last it is formula. So formula it is like going to print you 2. So that's why it is working like that. And let me again go to my program code and let me remove this. It's just for explanation like how you are going to get the value. So which value it will be matching now? It will be going to that. And it will be printing to that. Although I have designed in such way, but it is like not working. I have already checked because as per the cell data, what the value it will be matching, it will be going to that and it will be printing that. So this is like design pattern. Let me explain switch because some of the guys must not be having some idea of switch case. So switch case is basically a case switch design pattern in Java, so that whatever the value you are passing, it will be matching. So which case it is going to match? Whatever the value, it will be here, it will be matched with the case. And what the case it will match, it will go to that case directly. And if you will not put break statement, so it will execute this and after that it will start executing this. So that's why if my job is finished, so that's why I'm like going to put here break. So basic design pattern of switch is switch parenthesis start, and in that you can put your condition, and this is like body curly bracket start curly bracket close, and this is the case. So case you can give any case and you have to put like colon, not semicolon, you have to put colon. You can see here. So basically it's a pattern matching. Whatever the value you are going to supply here, it will be matched here. So whatever the relevant match it will found, it will go
Start
to
from
that.
the first case.
Sorry.
So it will start matching from the first case, or directly it will jump to the exact case.
So suppose that you find here 1, right? So it will first come to this, whether it is being matched or not. So if it is matched, then fine, then again it will switch to this. If it is not matched, then it will switch to this fashion, fine. If it will not match to any of this, then it will come to default. Fine. Basically this
Okay.
is a design pattern, and what you can do in when it will come to this, suppose that this value is matching with this case. So whatever the code you have written, like multiple codes can be written, you will write all the codes and you need to put the break statement. And if you will not put the break statement, what will happen? It will suppose that it has matched with this, right? Fine. So it will execute this, and after that it will start executing this. So to avoid that, we are putting here break. So if
Okay. So
Suppose
when
that
it
my
find the
value,
exact match, it will break.
yes, suppose that my job is
Okay.
finished, so it will break the switch, fine, and it will come directly over here. So
Is
let
it possible like we can have multiple cases matching?
then in that condition it will go to the first, fine,
Okay.
because if it can be, if it's basically depends upon your design pattern, right? How you are going to design it. Earlier, I think I don't have explained about switch case, but for this program, I found it pretty suitable. So I thought, oh, I will be going to explain about switch case too. Fine.
Okay. Fine.
So say that already explained that what will be the value of cell dot get cell type. So basically, it will be matching like which kind of cell data it is. So on the basis of that, it is going to give you integer value. And whatever the integer value you have already shown in my last execution, that this was coming in this format. So whatever the value it will be matching, it will be executing that of line of code. And what I did, let me explain. In first case, I have tried to get with a string cell value. In second case, I tried to get with boolean cell value. In third case, yes, you can ask Aniket. In third case, I have tried to get the string cell value. In the fourth case, I have tried to find the formula cell value. And in the fifth case, I have tried to like get the string cell value again. Fine. So if it is blank again, and again I have designed in such fashion for date, but my date is not matching in this case. So that is why it is taking like that, because I have taken this. For that we have to like manipulate our program some in different way, but as of now I will show you and like how you are going to achieve this concept. Fine, let me execute. It is coming as deprecated. Fine, so let me add the warning suppression. I have add the warning suppression. You can see this is the annotation in Java to suppress the warning of deprecation. Deprecation, it means nowadays it's not being widely used. It's for demo purpose, like you can explore your Google for multiple things. A lot of things are there. So I'm just going to give you the basic, like how you are going to give your like a program in such a way, like how you can design it. And I just wanted to show you because it's a dynamic, right? You don't even know how many rows and columns are there. So in that condition, how you are going to read and write the file. Let me run this and go to the console output. You can see guys what the output is coming. So as of now you might be thinking it is not matching, but uh, let me minimize it so that you can match it. As of now you might be thinking, oh, it is not matching, but when you will come here and let me change the view of Excel, now you can see that whether it is matching or not. You can see over here, right? So all data are being matched. Due to this it is matching in this pattern, so that is why. But for date, if you are going to put some like get pattern, so that is going to match and it will be like fetching the data that I have already shown in the last class. But here you can see it's a totally
How are you changing the view, Rajesh?
sorry,
How are you changing the Excel view?
by control and tilde symbol, and there is like one button is also given there,
Shortcut is Control tilde, right?
control and tilde.
Yeah, okay.
That is the toggle button. You can see here, control tilde, just the key below the escape key.
Yeah, yeah. Fine.
And I think there is some option also given there, like show formula. I have seen somewhere. data.
Okay, no problem. Please proceed further.
Fine. Let me go to more design pattern so that you have better look for
Yes.
that. Say that someone come here and he just expanded it, right? I'm not worried like how many, something like that, someone change how it's changed a, or let me put it for say that Sunday, let me put as January. Say that I have increased the total number of rows and columns, right? And someone will come here and again executed this program. You just see the output that whether it is going to print it or not. So it's fine, it's working, right? It is coming due to like tab symbol what I
If
have
we have
chosen.
some blank, Rajiv,
Sorry.
if we have some blank cell in between,
So let me put some blank.
yes.
Fine. So I have already written the program for blank. I think it will be matched. Blank. It is going to print you. So blank is coming right here, but it is shifted here. You can see here. Blank is printing, but it's been shifted here. Fine. So no error is coming, right? It means program is working fine. If no error is there, it means your program is working fine.
Yes, working fine, but data are wrong, right?
No, data no alignment is wrong.
Alignment is wrong, but it is mixed. No, if you are going to read these kind of data, it's totally, I mean, not expected. No?
All right. But you have to use pass the data in different test cases. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
How to read formula values? It's pretty simple. Via this, you can see here, I have already given there. So this is what was for loop. This design I created you to show how to read dynamic rows and dynamic column. The static, in the last class we already discussed about static. Say that it's pretty simple now. Suppose that if you are having a program and suppose that you want to print a value of particular cell, you know that whether it is like a date, whether it is like a string, so that is already reachable. But I have designed this program for demo purpose that you are going to read the dynamic rows and dynamic columns. Even you don't know how many rows were there or you don't know how many columns were there. So that is why I have created this program for demo purpose. I will share the code so that you can also practice, and like a lot of things are there in the Google, you can modify in such a way that you will be getting the actual output in this format too. Fine, but for demo purpose I have created something like that, and say that now you want to print, say that in this date format. So for that I have already created one demo program. Let me show you. So this is like pretty good program. Let me show you the use of this simple date format. What I'll do, I will copy this program and paste it. Copy, paste. And I don't know iterator something like that. I will simply use my workbook, and with the help of this I will print it. workbook dot get sheet at, here you have to pass the index, and index of your sheet is like 5, right? So 4, sheet number 5, so index is 4, dot get row, here row number, you just need to calculate the row number. Say that this is row number 13, so you need to pass 12 because it's start from 0. Manually how you are going to print that, that is different thing, and by program you are going to print, that is different. Then get cell, and here you have to pass the cell number, but here you have to like some focus here that this is XSSF cell, because other class which are present there like siege, XSF siege, XSF row, XSF cell, so these are like other classes which are present, but I am directly writing into the single line, so that's why I am using like that. But you can also like take in multiple lines. If you will Google it now, you will find like it has been written in multiple lines, but that is like totally, you can see, not feasible. You have to write it like this. So this is the better approach. You don't need to remember a lot of things. So cell here, let me count the cell number. So cell number 0, 1, 2, cell number 2, right? Again, this is the date type value. And if I will print here, get date cell value. See the output first. So I have taken here but not printed. So let me store it somewhere. The string, or this is, it will show me error because this is the date type value. So let me take it as date val, and I will come here, create local variable. It is coming in date format, you can see over here. So if you will simply print over here, say that CISO, and when you will print date, see the output. It's printing in this format, Sunday, September 24, something like that. Fine. And now you want to print in this format. You want to print in this format. Fine. So it's actual date printing, but it is like giving me a lot of data, which I don't need. So format you can define by simple date format class is there. Date format is the interface and simple date format is the class. Let me go to that line of code. Let me copy this and let me paste it here. You simply need to define the format in which you want the output. So I want the output in DD, MM, YY. Fine. And here you can apply that format. So I have created one reference variable of this is class simple date format. This is related to Java, not with Selenium. Fine. So you should know about that. Simple date format is a class and date format is the interface of this class. You can also write date format here. So this is also allowed. You can see, you can also like in this format, but you can also write in this format. So both are allowed. So if you will Google it out, so might be you will be getting date format. So don't confuse. This is the parent and this is child. So reference type of parent and object type of child is allowed. And here you are passing the format in which you want your output. So that is why I am writing like that. Fine. So it's allowed here. And what I want to do, I want to print the date in that format. So this has like one method called format. Fine. So via this variable, I will be getting one method. I want to show you like lot of methods are present for date class as well. You can see format, parse, format, date, clone, lot of methods are there. You can see here, right? So I am using only format and I will pass this date val which I created here in this. So whatever the format I have specified, it will be printing in that format. Fine guys. Now see the output. Due to this, it will give you the output in its standard way, and due to this, after formatting, it will give you the same output in different way. Just see that. Let me go to console and you can see here in which format it is coming over here. Let me use println. See here output. In which format it is coming here. Fine. DDMM. There are different formats. You can Google it out. Now it is coming in correct format and it will match. So it is 24,917 and I am going to get the output in the same format. Fine guys. So this is the basic operation for Excel file reading. So now I will show you how you are going to associate this test data to your test cases. How you are going to associate this test data to your test cases. Now binding from Excel. So basic logic for that, the basic logic for that is that you have to create one object type array first, two-dimensional array for rows and columns, and you have to read the data from Excel sheet and store it into array. Second rule. And third rule is then after that you will pass the array to your test case. Like earlier you were passing. As in the first class when I have like given the session on data provider, I shown you how you are going to pass the data from like data provider. So there I have already shown like how you are going to pass. Let me recap so that you can come to know about that. This is 102. No, this is not. This is also not. Oh, this is like entirely different thing. I think I have covered that topic here. Let me go to that topic, data provider, where I have covered the data provider part. 101. Yes, right. Come here. I'll try to recap you. Like the basic logic is that you have to create one two-dimensional array over here, and via that array you can pass it. Fine, the data. So other one more step added. Earlier you were like directly creating the data over here, but now you will be reading the data from Excel sheet and storing it into this, and after that you are going to pass it. Just added one line. So this is why I have given the session like how to read the data from Excel sheet. So what I will do, this is the file number 100. Let me copy this. And let me come here and I will create new package over here. Excel to test case. I've given the name Excel to test case and I will paste it. Let me close all. This concept I have already taught you. Let me remove this because I don't need this anymore. Return data, it is required. So basic format, it is required over here.
Hi Rajiv.
Yes, who is this?
Rajiv, it's Rahul here.
The hi Rahul.
Yeah, I have one doubt here. So whenever we create an object array, right?
Yes.
So here we are defining the number of rows and the columns.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, let's say like, how do I say? So there is one test case. Let's say login. For login, like we need username and password.
You are not audible.
Okay. Are you able to hear now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So here the number of rows and columns looks to be hard coded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say tomorrow, like I have some 5 test cases. Like first test case talks about the login.
Mm-hmm.
So wherein I'll define the username and the password for that particular test case. So
Mm-hmm.
once the login test case is successful, then I'll go and add, like if there is a CRUD operation, let's say like we are adding a user or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for adding a user, like there are some 10 sets of fields.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like for adding a user itself, like we are adding all the information related to the user. So tomorrow, let's say like 5 more fields gets added in the application.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to define those fields again in the Excel sheet, right?
Right.
So every time, like we have to keep changing the code as and when the text field gets added.
No, dynamically I already have shown you now how to. Just you need to get this value, right?
Yeah.
So you can get this value by iteration count. You can create one variable there and you will get that variable by iteration count, and you can use that variable over here for creation of array. Got it? Or not got it?
I'm not
Say
getting it.
that in last program I have already shown you for dynamic rows and dynamic column, right? So what you can do
So
here,
like
what
we
you
are
can,
printing all the rows and columns, right? In the last program which you have shown.
yes, so that was dynamic, right? I was not knowing how many rows and columns were there. So what you can
So
do, you can
everything
create
will
like
be.
one variable there, and whatever the values are there in the variable, you can use that variable for creating object type array. Not what? Not understood?
Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting it. But how to structure the data like for multiple test cases? That is where I'm not getting any idea. Like maybe probably like once I do it, so I'll get to know.
Try it. The thing, the program which I have already shown you, now you can try
Yeah.
it. Like you can get the number of rows and number of columns from there. You can iterate it, and later on you can use that number of rows and that number of column to create your object type dynamic array, right? It is hard coded,
But
but
it will. Yeah, that will be only for one test cases, right? Like there will be like 10 test cases. For each and every test case, the different data will be there.
so you can design your test cases in such a way. Na? You have to, like, once you have to design, then after you will be able to use it, right?
Because the like the data that you have shown is like everything is one sheet, right?
Yes. So here, say that this is my test case, right? You can see here I have put test annotation, and after that I have like given the name of method where I will be passing the username and password from some of the sheets. So say that I will create one sheet over here, and I will be passing the username like USER username one. Let me take my name Razi. Say that Rahul, Rizwan, and computer and keyboard. So say that these are my username, and I am using as password 123. Say that this time I am taking as password 456. Again this. Fine. You can see name of the seat is seat number 6, and these are my data. So index number is 5, and there are like 5 rows and 2 columns. Even I can do it dynamic, but I will that already shown to you, so you can try it. This is an assignment for you. You can try it your way, that how to capture dynamic size, and you can pass it in your test case. Let me go in a static way. Say that I have to get it like 5 and 2, right? So 5 rows, 2 columns are there. And what I will do, I will write a program to read the data and store it into array. So I will take for loop. Outer for loop is for row, inner for loop is for column. Here my row, I will take it variable as row, is equal to 0, and row is less than, I will use here one concept is there, that let me first create the variable for sheet, right? That I have already not created. Let me copy it from some of the test case. So this is the basic steps to need to be covered for connecting to the Excel sheet, and after that, with the help of this variable, you can take any name as per your reference. Other things are static. This is dynamic. You can change it, right, as per your requirement. I am taking it as int max equal to this dot last get sheet at which sheet I want to use. So this is the sheet number I want to use at 5, right? You can see here sheet index is 5, sheet 6 index is 5, and one method already given there for dynamic number of rows finding, that get last row number. But method is available with sheet, right? It will give you the number of rows. So you can use this max value for row iteration. There is one another way. You can also use this, and row plus plus. It means every time it will be counting, it will be increased by 1. And here for column, I will be using like int call equal to 0, semicolon, call is less than 2, call plus plus. And here I will simply, let me get the data, and you have to write the code for reading the data from Excel sheet. So this was the code, you know that. Let me paste it, and here you need to update something like this is row number 5, right? So get sheet it from 5, and this is the cell number. So cell number will be row, and column you will be passing it in the cell. And here I am knowing that this is my string cell value, so I will be using the method as string, so get a string cell value. And again, so it's saying like change the data to string, but I'll not do that. What I'll do, I will use directly as object type. So this is like data, because this is an array now, so that's why it was throwing error. So I have to define where I have to store it. Let me use big bracket. So design part, you have to use it. You have to specify which row and which column you want to store it. What will happen after completion of this loop? You can see here. After completion of this loop, so it's showing here throw declaration. So I have already used throw declaration. So now this error has been gone. So now input output exception. So there are exceptions which you need to define when you are using like file input stream class. Fine. So due to file you are going to get file not found exception, and due to file input stream you will be like knowing about input output exception. So these are the exception you need to declare. So this is called declaration. So maybe if somehow like program is going to get some kind of issue, so those exceptions will be thrown. So this is called check exceptions in Java. Now you can see here after completion of this loop, my this part. So this is my two-dimensional object array, right? So this has like filled with the data from Excel sheet. And now what I will do, I will pass this data into this test case. So I'm using return. So this return statement is matching with this. You can see over here. So this is what? This is two-dimensional array, right? So it should match. So this is like design. You need to know about design, how you are going to do that. So this is like a code which I have written for like reading the data from Excel, and basically the data will be stored in array, and at last I will be passing the array into my test case. So other things are same, just 5 lines of code. I have to add more for reading the data from Excel. Fine. Because earlier you have seen in the previous program that how I was passing the data hard coded. Now I am getting the data from Excel sheet, I am going to pass it. And in my test case, it depends upon you like how you are going to use it. So say that in my test case I have number of columns as 2. So that's why I have to create here two arguments. One is for username and one is for password. And I am just printing it for demo purpose, but you can use it in your test case. Say that you have written, open one website, and in that you want to put it, so you can also put it, but for demo purpose I am just printing it into my test case. So this is the basic integration of Excel sheet data reading and like storing it into array, and after that array is passed to your test case, so with the help of data provider annotation. Now let me run this line of code and see whether I'm going to get the output or not. So see here, I'm getting the output in correct format. Username, password, what the data I have stored in my file. So it's coming in the same format. So let me give here print and println, and now see, let me remove username hard coded, and let me use add some spaces. Let me remove this. Just for demo purpose, I am printing here. You can use it in your test case. Say that Facebook, you created 2 or 3 logins and you have all the user and password. You can automate your program in such a way that whatever the data it is coming from Excel, you can write that code and it will iterate for multiple times. So in this case, it will iterate for say that I have 5 user ID password, right? So it will iterate for 5 times. Let me run this. You can see this is the first time iteration, second time iteration, third time, fourth time, fifth time. So your test case has run for 5 times and see here output whether in the console you are getting the output in correct format or not. So in last it is showing as null. Why it is null? I think I have done some mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which data it is not being able to? No, it's correct. Let me run once again. Might be due to some issue, or I think I have passed some wrong input, so that's why. Rajiv 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 2. Okay, no problem. I will check it why it is coming like that. I think it's enough for today. You can go and try it. Fine. So that's like might be something issue in the program or code indexing. I'll check it. Fine guys. So thank you for joining the session. And if you have still any doubt, you can get back to me. And I will try to cover one more session because yesterday I didn't take the session. So whenever I will be having time, I will announce the timings in the group so that you can come and join. Fine. So our target is at least 2 sessions for old batches and 3 sessions for new batches in the weekdays. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining the session. If
Hi, Rajiv.
anyone has question, then they can ask